Hey everyone, welcome to today's video where we're gonna have a quick update on NIO stock. We can also start with the lithium carbonate price, which is one of the biggest components of the battery in each of the electric vehicles. And as we've seen on the past few weeks, it's been going on upward trends. We can see here that it's bottomed out at around 60,000. Now it breached obviously 70,000. But again, zooming out, you can see that it's not a whole lot, I would say. Like if you take a longer perspective, we are still at the lows of around 2021. So we are nowhere near the peaks of 2022 and 2023. We also just got the monthly registration numbers for NIO, XPeng and Li Auto. You can see that NIO came in at a low end of 21,000, XPeng at 36,700 and Li Auto at 30,700. What does it mean? Well, if we go back to our monthly graphs here, and you can see here that for NIO, it was quite like I actually lowered my delivery numbers last week to 24,000. I still felt 24,000 was too high for July based on what we got on the first 3 weeks of July. But then I hoped that it would have been like, a last push by last week, but that didn't happen. So we can see if we now update this number here. So updating to the new number, and you can see we just barely beat the last 2 years of July deliveries. So this was not the greatest start of the 1st of August, but that being said, there are a lot of good news when it comes to the other sub-brand of NIO, ONVO. We can see that the queuing up for the ONVO L90 launch is amazing. I mean, everywhere you look online, this is probably like one of the kind launch for a NIO vehicle. Like, it's not this way for every single vehicle for NIO. I think this is really, really special. So potentially L90 is the start of where we start to see deliveries pick up for NIO. Here you can as well see the CEO, the guy that I kind of disagree with a lot over the past, especially year, due to the excessive spending on different projects. But I think like this one, we have to appreciate that, yeah, the L90 really looks like the real deal. Going to the price target from tip ranks, you can see the price target on average sits around $468, essentially where the stock is sitting around currently. So yeah, I mean, it was up 8% yesterday, good to see. But again, if you're new to this channel, remember that I've been quite critical of this management team, so everything is not looking great. We have to still wait for, as I mentioned on my previous video, if you want to look at the further details, you can look at my previous NIO video a couple of days old now, where I talk about, potential Q2 and Q3 net loss numbers, speculating on when they will potentially become profitable. But long story short, I think, we might have a shot at, let's say, break even or close to break even by Q4. I'm expecting currently, based on 108,000 deliveries, NIO to have around 270 million net loss, which is a huge improvement compared to the 900 million or almost a billion over the past couple of quarters. So hopefully, the worst is past us, but there still is a risk of, as I mentioned also in my previous video, a risk of, capital raise, some sort of a dilution, because their cash position is sadly not the biggest. So I think for automotive company, 2 billion or let's say even 3 billion, as you can see on row 38, is not it's not the best. So let's, be cautious. Don't think that this company is out of the danger zone. I agree with a lot of you that if they manage to be stable, like for months and months, be above $5 and, the confidence come back and the rumors of potential bankruptcy goes away because they start to get close to profitability and break even, then sure, this is still, on the cheap end by any means, in my opinion. But until then, I think let's wait and see. Quickly looking at the swap infrastructure numbers as well. The cumulative swaps is now 81 million. Today they're averaging around 73,000 for the today. But then you can see over the past 30 days moving average, that number is closer to 100,000 swaps across their entire fleet. We can also see that the number of swap stations, 3,432, with additional 437 added to the network this year. In addition to that, we have 28 number of swaps per station, which is, below the number that they self-mentioned for break-even, around 60. Again, if you follow me previously, you know that I don't believe the number 60 is correct right now. That's a 2.5-year-old number roughly. With the scale of NIO and the scale of the swap infrastructure, I wouldn't be surprised, also due to the fact that lithium carbonate price is much lower now than it was like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So I would say most likely that 60 number that everyone talks about is probably lower. Now, is it 30? Is it 40? Is it 50? I don't know. My suspicion is at least, at the very least, at around 50 and not, 60. So that's also another good point. And you can see that if you look at the NEOs, let's say, if you chart the amount of other sales and the cost of other sales and the delta between them, so you can see on the right is the cost of other sales, which been until most of the quarters that we have recently, it's been above the actual revenue from the other sales in the blue, and the delta is the difference between them. And the only time it kind of was positive, it was on a like one single quarter in Q3 of 2021 and also Q4 of 2024. But we are, as you can see, the delta getting closer and closer to the zero line there on average. So I think like, yeah, we're kind of getting to a point where the other sales business for NEO is starting to be at the very least break even, I would say, and soon profitable. But again, don't go away from this video like maybe a lot of other YouTubers that everything is great and NEO stock is gonna go to 50. No, not at all. Like, let's wait and see. So this was a quick update because I'm away for the up and coming 10 days or so. But with all that being said, also follow me on my Discord. You can find it in the description of the video. I've opened a Discord channel for free, where you can just engage in discussions with others and also have a quick update on what's coming up next. I would believe that we are trying to find the next 10x or 50x stock, and I found let's say 8 candidates that we might discuss together going forward, especially in the Discord channel, but also on video format. I would love to hear your point of view on some of these candidates, and if you have other candidates, please make sure that engage in the comment section, and together we try to find the next hims and hers or the next AMD from 2016. So anyways, that was all for today's video. Please like and subscribe, and thank you for your time, and see you in the next one.